All right, I'm going to go ahead and call this regular meeting of the Camarillo City Council for Wednesday, June 12, 2024 to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Martinez Bravo.
Here.
Councilmember Santangelo.
Here.
Councilmember Tennyson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Kildee.
Here.
And Mayor Tremblay.
Here.
And I will open this meeting of the Camarillo Sanitary District and let the record reflect that all council members are present.
And the record should reflect that City Council and
Sanitary District.
are going into closed session pursuant to the items listed on the agenda. And Madam City Attorney, would you like to lead us into closed session on that basis?
Yes, we have 3 items on the agenda. One, the OPV coalition litigation, public employee performance evaluation, and labor negotiations. And we have 1 item on the sanitary district for labor negotiations. And if there's any reportable action, I will make that report. Thank you.
All right, and we'll reflect, if that's all right, Councilmember Santangelo, that City Council and Sanitary District will be in recess until 5 o'clock and in closed session. Thank you.
I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Camarillo Sanitary District. It's June 12th. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see so many faces here. And we have a roll call.
Director Kildy?
Here.
Director Martinez Bravo?
Here.
Director Tremblay?
Here.
Secretary Tennyson?
Present.
Chair Santangelo?
And I'm here. Okay, Councilmember Tennyson, will you lead us in a flag salute?
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, place your hand over your heart, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, are there any public comments for the Camarillo Sanitary District? No cards? Are you sure nobody wants to talk to the Camarillo Sanitary District? All right, that moves us on to the consent calendar, items B through C.
I'll move consent.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Kildy?
Yes.
Director Martinez Bravo?
Yes.
Director Tremblay?
Yes.
Secretary Tennyson?
Yes.
And Chair Santangelo?
Yes. And that passes unanimously. Okay, that brings us down to our discussion items, which we have none tonight. And do we have any board or staff comments and reports? Seeing none, that brings us to our adjournment. I'll adjourn until our next meeting.
All right, I'll go ahead and reconvene this meeting of the City Council. Let the record reflect that all 5 council members are present. Our first item up, prior to presentations, are council and staff comments and reports. Are there any comments or anything from staff at all? All right, let's go ahead and take council member comments. Who wants to start off tonight? Councilmember Tennyson, I'm looking at you.
Gladly, Mayor.
Here we go.
On June 6th, I attended the Regional Defense Partnership, which is an organization with elected officials from city councils, the county board of supervisors, to support the naval bases Ventura County, which happened to be the largest single employer and one of the largest economic drivers in Ventura County. The organization spends a lot of time on bases interviewing the various commands, and we take their issues back to Washington, D.C. every April, meet with members of Congress, the U.S. Senate and the House, the various congressional committees that deal with military appropriations, and all of the offices we can get into, which are many. It was 16 meetings in 3 days at the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, and things like that. We had the privilege of having Captain Bar Kimnock, who's been the commanding officer of Naval Bases Ventura County for the last 3 years, at the meeting on Thursday, and his incoming replacement, Captain Daniel D.B. Brown, not the author that many people are probably familiar with. I had the opportunity to present him with a letter from our city manager. One of the issues that we constantly hear from our residents about is the sound of freedom. The sound of military jets flying over. And oftentimes it's not a lot of jets that are stationed at Magoo, but they host joint operations and training sessions. And I shared with the incoming commander of Naval Bases Ventura County that in the last 2 weeks, I don't live on the east end of town, but I go up there twice a day to walk 2 little spoiled dogs at Mission Oaks Park, and the Navy jets coming over, my wife and I actually had to stop conversations. They were loud. It didn't offend me. I no longer live up there, but one of the issues that we have is that we're not getting real clear communication from the bases so that we can pass that information on through our social media channels and things like that from the city, so that residents understand for the next 5 or 6 days or the next 2 weeks, you're going to hear a lot of these jets. So at my request, the city manager wrote a letter to the incoming base commander, which I shared with him, and the whole focus of the letter is we need better communication between Naval Bases Ventura County on increased aircraft activity in the city of Camarillo. We're not going to stop the flights, but we need better communication so the city can get that information out to the residents so they understand what's going on. And I'm going to ask the city manager to share that letter with the rest of council before the end of this week so they see what I presented to them. Captain Brown seemed very amenable and knows the importance of the public-private partnership and the relationship with the surrounding cities on the bases. I will follow up with him. I sit in a monthly meeting with him and all of the other RDP officials. So I will continue to follow up so that we get the information and we can share it with all of you. On June 7th, Friday, I was able to attend the change of command ceremony, sending out Captain Bar Kimnock, and he's done a great job, and welcoming Captain Daniel Brown, not the author. His nickname is DB. And interestingly, most people don't know this. The commanding officer of Naval Bases Ventura County has to be an aviator. And anybody that knows anything about the Navy knows you can tell an aviator by the color of their shoes. Aviators wear brown shoes. The rest of the people in the military wear black shoes. So the commanding officer has to be an aviator. His executive officer next in command is on the CB side of things. I think we're going to be really fortunate to have Captain D.B. Brown. I look forward to interacting with him and hopefully settling this communication problem that has existed between the city and the bases and our residents. That's it, sir.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Cooley, you want to go next?
Sure, I'll go next. Okay, so meetings attended on behalf of the city. June 6th, they had a VRSD meeting, which is Ventura Regional Sand District. We run the landfill. And June 12th, along with Councilmember Martinez Bravo, we had a Transportation and Infrastructure committee meeting, and I also attended the noise compatibility planning study on June 3rd.
That it?
That's it.
Who wants to go next? Tie goes to the runner. Councilmember Santangelo.
Yeah, I win. Okay. For meetings attended on May 25th, I attended the ribbon cutting for Central Coast Laundry. This is, if you ever want to see like a modern laundromat, this is it. It's very cool. They have fluff and fold service as well, and they have, I swear you could fit like 10 dead bodies in these dryers. They're huge. They're huge. So if you have big items, this is the place to take them. Sorry. I couldn't believe how big they were. Okay, back to my meetings. I attended the CPA Finance Committee meeting on May 29th. I attended Camarillo Pride on June 2nd. I'll have some more words to say about that later. On June 3rd, I attended the Part 150 noise study. To anybody out there listening or watching or out there in the audience today, please know that I still hear you. I hear about the airport concerns. I know there's a lot of noise traffic. I know we're concerned about what the future is bringing to us. And please know that I'm working with the airport, the director of airports and the airport staff, and we're doing all we can. We're moving forward with the looking at the, I don't know the correct terminology, a new airport flight path. We're looking at fly-friendly programs, so we're really doing all the things that we can. So I just want everybody out there to know that. And then on June 6th, I attended the CPA board meeting, and that's all I have.
Great.
Thank you. Councilmember Martinez Bravo.
Thank you, Mayor. So for meetings attended and events, on May 29th, I attended the Ventura County Taxpayers Association breakfast meeting. Our city manager, Greg Ramirez, did a wonderful job providing a presentation based on city information. He was also joined by our economic development manager, George Winkler, who is also doing just so wonderful in that department. And Chief Tennyson joined in as well. So thank you to the three of you. You did a great job. May 30th, I was actually in Los Angeles for an ADL luncheon for the celebration of the Sherwood Prize for Combating Hate Awards. And this, it was a very special ceremony. It was in recognition that was provided to exceptional law enforcement professionals who are so committed to their work that they make a significant difference in their communities and who serve as a role model for their departments. This year, there was a recognition that was given to Thousand Oaks Chief of Police, Jeremy Paris, who actually also worked here in the city of Camarillo and provided his service for several years. So I'm very thankful for that. This event was attended by Sheriff Freihoff, Assistant Sheriff Jose Rivera, and many, many chiefs from throughout Southern California. I'd like to share a quote from ADL's executive director about Jeremy Paris specifically. Chief Paris clearly cares deeply about the community he serves and has earned widespread trust through genuine warmth and tireless outreach, well deserving of this honor. He was recognized also in the wake of Paul Kessler's death in clear tensions, during time of clear tensions in the community. And this was a time where Chief Paris actually hosted a meeting for law enforcement and local Jewish and Muslim leaders. And he hosted that in his own home. So this, the warmth that he brings to his authentic interest in the community member and open communication are truly have been key ingredients in developing mutually trusting relationships, which I think that truly exemplifies what a great leader he is. And so personally, I'd like to thank Chief Paris and congratulate all of the other recipients who went above and beyond to fight hate in their own communities. And then moving on to June 2nd, I also attended the 3rd annual Camarillo Pride event. And on June 3rd, I also joined the Department of Airports community meeting, and ditto to what Councilmember Santangelo said. June 10th, I attended the CSUCI Site Authority meeting. And June 12th, I attended the Transportation and Infrastructure meeting with Councilmember Kildee. Thank you.
Okay, I'm up to the plate for meetings attended on both yesterday and the day before, June 10 and June 11. I had lengthy meetings of the Fox Canyon Groundwater Management Agency, the Fiscal Committee of the Board of Directors. For those of you who are wondering what in the world is the Fox Canyon Groundwater Management Agency, it is the groundwater regulatory authority that regulates extractions of groundwater wells on the Oxnard Plain. A very important body. Several hours of detailed water, budget, and finance matters. So anybody who likes math and finance would have been in their element and for those two meetings and more ahead. A couple of general announcements. First of all, it really gives me great pleasure. I received an email yesterday. I have two specific compliments for the Camarillo Police Department. And the first is with respect to an email I received from a citizen who recently had a ride-along with Deputy Francisco Gill of our department. And as all of you know, our council, we are extremely proud of our Camarillo Police Department and what they do, what the men and women of the department do for us day in and day out in keeping us safe. And this email, this individual took an 8-hour ride-along with this deputy, with Francisco Gill, and described him as one of the hardest working, dedicated people that he had ever met. Didn't stop working from the moment that they got in the car. Did not take a break during his 12-hour shift. Commander Tennyson, I don't want him to be in trouble. And is continuing, now that's on the record, and is continuously patrolling and looking for potential problems, and just praised the professionalism of this deputy. And I want to just acknowledge that publicly and also say thank you to Commander Tennyson, who commands very fine men and women of the Camarillo Police Department. And the second person in the Camarillo Police, in the Ventura County Sheriff's Office, actually, that I would like to commend. I was at a Rotary Club meeting in Camarillo today, and we heard a presentation from Vince, Detective Vince. His first name is Robert, but his nickname is Vince de la Cerda. And you may remember him. He was in the Camarillo station for many years as part of our special enforcement detail, knows Camarillo very well. But he gave a presentation on agricultural crimes and how agricultural crimes obviously impact our farmers and how important our farmers are to the economy. So he did a great presentation, very, very worthwhile. So shout out to both of those law enforcement individuals for the jobs that they're doing. Two other quick items. I really appreciate, Councilmember Tennyson, your comments and your efforts through RDP 21 regarding military air traffic in eastern Camarillo, because that happens to be the area I live in, and improving communications with the base on that, and I look forward to working with you on that. And finally, a ditto to Councilmember Santangelo. Both Susan and I sit on the Airport Authority. We both take it very seriously, the issues. I'll note, if you haven't seen it, there was a letter sent at the end of last month with our specific position, or a letter from the mayor regarding to the Department of Airports, indicating what we wanted the Department of Airports to investigate, including an alternative flight path approach to try to mitigate some of the noise issues that have occurred for folks in the Old Town area. So Susan, thank you. I agree with you on all your comments on that. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, could I add one more thing, please? I know I used my time.
Yes.
On
teasing you. Go ahead.
On Sunday, even though it wasn't an official city function, I had the privilege of attending the 80th birthday party for Mayor Emeritus Charlotte Craven, who served our city for 30-plus years on the council in multiple terms as mayor. Mayor Tremblay, Vice Mayor Kildee were present, Chief Tennyson, plus 4 former police chiefs were all present. And I just want to acknowledge Charlotte for all of her hard work on behalf of every resident of the city of Camarillo. She gave tirelessly of her time, her family's time. Her husband Mike was there. There were just a few people there, maybe 90 of us, Mayor. Is that pretty accurate? And I just want to acknowledge Charlotte for everything she did during the late 80s when the city of Camarillo was broke, and helped bring us back to fiscal viability and helped institute the policies and procedures that we currently operate under. So happy birthday, Charlotte.
Thank you, Councilmember Tennyson. Anything else on council comments? Okay. I'm going to go over there. And I'm told by our administrative services director that if I hold this down, the microphone works. So, thank you, John. So, I can't tell you how delightful it is to see all of you with us here tonight. I know you're interested in the 4-hour agenda item with respect to water. I'm kidding, but we're really lucky to have all of you here tonight. We have multiple presentations, and you're kind of all guinea pigs in a way, because this is the first time I'm trying not to stand in front of the city seal. This is the first time we've used this presentation space here in our temporary quarters, and Rachel, I'm going to set up on. So we have multiple presentations tonight that I'm very pleased to be part of, and so that's why I'm presenting from this new presentation space for all the recipients, and I intend to stay up here during the presentations. I'll wander back to my chair as things dictate. The fourth presentation by Food Share will actually also include a PowerPoint presentation, an informational PowerPoint presentation, which I think should be very informative to all of us. So I would encourage everybody to stay for that. And I want those watching on television at home and those of you who may have just arrived, we did a bunch of photos of everybody prior to the council meeting starting. So I just wanted you to know why we weren't taking time out after the presentations to do photos again. I can only have so many photos taken of me every day before I start rebelling, but anyway, I'm kidding. So the first presentation up, the first group up, is our first cohort of the Las Personas Community Academy, our city's academy, which has been worked so hard on by our staff members Chantal Lemon and Michelle Dana, who we owe a very large amount of thanks to. And we have some of the I think we have almost all of the members of the Las Personas Community Academy in the audience. Could all of you please stand?
Good job.
So I want to say thank you sincerely to all of you for participating in the Academy. I was pleased to be part of it on the second session. It was really a lot of fun. For those of you who may not know a lot about the Academy, what it's designed to do, it's an interactive program, truly interactive, and it's designed basically to do two things. The first is to educate community members on the roles and responsibilities of the city of Camarillo. And the second is to encourage ongoing engagement, obviously by yourselves and by sharing and promoting opportunities for public participation. It's critically important. Camarillo has a quality of life that, in my view, and I know it's shared by many, that is second to none. And a large reason for that is because all of you who are out in the audience and all of the people who are in this room and our community, and for you to step up and learn about this, particularly as the first cohort on this program, is deeply appreciated. So we want to thank you for your time and your participation and your dedication, and congratulations to all of you. Thank you. And please. And what I ought to do is ask any council members if they have any specific comments regarding the Las Personas Community Academy.
I'll make one real
Vice
quick.
Mayor Kildee.
I just want to thank everybody for doing that. I know, you know, Camarillo, as far as a percentage of volunteerism, as a percentage of our population, it's the highest in the county, and it's for individuals like you that make that so, that take time out of your very busy schedule to give back to the community that all of us love, and all your efforts do not go unnoticed, and I'm happy to be able to be a small part of this and recognizing you.
Anybody else? Councilmember Santangelo, and on deck is Councilmember Martinez-Bravo.
I don't want to be repetitive, but thank you. It may feel like you did this to get something from it, and it probably at the end of it, I hope that you have felt that it's gone both ways. But we really do appreciate community members that step up and want to be part of the community. Las personas son la ciudad. I don't say it as beautiful as Dr. Martinez-Bravo, but really the people are the city, and that's what you are. So thank you, each and every one of you.
Councilmember Martinez-Bravo.
First, thank you to staff. I know how much excitement and how much love went into creating this program. I just spoke with Chantal this morning, and I mean, you can just feel the emotion, right, in terms of how excited she was and how rewarding she said this program was. So thank you to staff for taking this on. And I think we're making history right here in Camarillo, and every single one of you are a part of that history. And Councilmember Santangelo is absolutely right that our motto for the city of Camarillo is Las personas son la ciudad, the people are the city. And I am so full of gratitude for everything that you bring, because all of you have tremendous gifts and qualities, and the fact that you engaged in this and trusted our process, and now you're going to continue to be role models for others to follow. Thank you.
Councilmember Tennyson. Oh, sorry.
Ditto.
And for those of you who may not be familiar, that is our council's way of agreeing with trying to be succinct, which is very difficult for me, but in any event. Thank you all again. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Okay, our second presentation is to the Diversity Collective. And Edgar A1, Edgar, I know you're here because we took pictures earlier. Come on up. And for those of you who may not be familiar with the Diversity Collective, in a very succinct way, I'll say it's a nonprofit that is dedicated to serving the LGBTQ+ community throughout Ventura County, including Camarillo, by providing programs and resources and outreach events, as well as a community resource center. They provide screening, education and prevention programs, and they hold events that focus on inclusivity and diversity. This proclamation declares June as Pride Month and recognizes Diversity Collective for their dedication to serving our community Edgar is here tonight, I think, pinch hitting for Tess Allen. Well, it's baseball season, so pinch hitting for Tess Allen, who is the Executive Director of Diversity Collective. And so I would like to go ahead and provide this proclamation to you in honor of Pride Month and in honor of the Diversity Collective, and to say congratulations. And this is what it looked like in the photo beforehand. Yeah. And don't go away. Are there any public any words that you would like to offer at this time?
First, I want to say thank you to the city of Camarillo. I'm one of your newest residents. And thank you. I didn't know that you had las personas de son la comunidad. That is really exciting for me as an LGBTQ individual here in the city of Camarillo. What the city is doing is recognizing the intersectionality of all of its citizens. And I've gone to a few of your schools, talked to and been an advocate for some of your queer students, and they've shared their stories with me, their struggles and moments that they've gone through, the hardships that they have faced, and for you to acknowledge and this proclamation for Pride, specifically for the young people that live here in Camarillo. This is a big step for them in their validation of their experience as LGBTQ people. So thank you.
Edgar, we're not going to quite let you go. Hold on. Oh, it's still on. Do any members of the council have any comments with respect to Diversity Collective? Vice Mayor Kildee.
I'd just like to thank you for being here.
Anybody else? Councilmember Santangelo?
First of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do at the Diversity Collective. I know for years, if anybody asks me for resources, they're my go-to, and so I'm so glad that you exist and you're here. And second of all, I'm so proud of my city for recognizing Pride Month, and I'm so glad that you brought up the idea of young people and the young people in our community seeing this and knowing that they're accepted and that they do belong here just as everybody else does. So, and they're here, so you're right. You're right. Thank you.
Councilmember Martinez Bravo.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for being here, for truly all of the work, the dedication that you provide not only to the city of Camarillo, but also to all of the residents throughout Ventura County. The mission of our city is to provide effective and efficient municipal services that promote a high quality of life, economic vitality, and a safe environment for all. A safe environment for all. And we were very conscientious about that change into our mission. And I am so proud that we also have this in our city. As somebody who comes from the mental health background, I'm very statistic oriented as well, and I understand the difficulties that this community is facing. In terms of some of the key findings from a 2024 U.S. National Survey on Mental Health on the LGBTQ plus young people, 39% of the LGBTQ plus young people seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year, including 46% of transgender and non-binary young people. The LGBTQ plus youth of color reported even higher rates than their white counterparts. Additionally, other stats show that more than 1 in 10, about 12% of LGBTQ plus youth also attempted suicide this past year. More than half, about 54% of transgender and non-binary young people found their school to be gender affirming, and those who did reported lower rates of attempting suicide. 50% of LGBTQ plus young people who wanted mental health care in the past year were not able to get it. The stats go on, and I think every single one of us has the responsibility to ensure the health and the safety of all of us in this community, and this includes our LGBTQ plus community. So I am thankful for the work that you do. Keep up the good work and let us know how we can continue to be partners. Thank you.
All right, we have our third presentation tonight, and it will be to Camarillo Pride. By the way, I think this is the third year, or second year that
Third.
second year for Camarillo Pride and third year for the Diversity Collective, if I remember. Maybe I've got that backwards. So anyway, thank you. Camarillo Pride hosted their third annual Camarillo Pride event on June 2nd, and that event aimed to provide a free and a safe space for members of the community. It was focused on a family-friendly event that offers a safe and inclusive space for all to interact. So congratulations to Camarillo Pride for holding a successful event and for your commitment to the community. At this point, I'd like to introduce two individuals. First is Michelle Burns, who's the co-founder of Camarillo Pride, and the second is Leandra Hart-Thomas, who I think may also be the co-founder of Camarillo Pride. Do I have that right? Yes. All right, and I want to go ahead and present this certificate of recognition to both of you on behalf of the City Council to Camarillo, on behalf of myself, and the Council or behalf of myself, excuse me, to Camarillo Pride for hosting that third annual event, and say thank you. Thank you. Ms. Burns or Ms. Hart-Thomas, is there any comments you'd like to make?
First, thank you to Diversity Collective, without whom we would not have a Camarillo Pride, as they were our fiscal sponsor since 2022. So absolutely, absolutely. Part of their mission has been to allow for small organizations like ours to share acceptance, to share inclusivity, to share love, and that's been our goal. But my co-founder, Leandra Hart-Thomas, is going to share our thoughts. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor Tremblay, City Council members. Thank you for your time and recognition. Today, we'd like to honor the past, as yesterday was the 25th anniversary of a National Pride Month declaration authorized by Bill Clinton on June 11th, 1999. We'd also like to honor the past of the Camarillo City Council and its public declaration of Pride Month last year before our second annual Pride celebration. We thank you again for your leadership at a time when our nation needs positivity, acceptance, and recognition of the LGBTQ plus families more than ever before. We want to thank council members Susan Santangelo, Martita Martinez-Bravo, and Kevin Kildee for taking time out of your Sunday to join the community celebration for our largest and most joyful event yet, the third annual Camarillo Pride. Your leadership is nothing short of extraordinary in a time where so many will speak but not act. By supporting inclusivity, you are leading the example, and other city councils have much to learn from you. My co-founder, Michelle, and I strive to leave Camarillo better than we found it. In that before Camarillo Pride, there was no citywide celebration of the LGBTQ plus community within Camarillo. By making Pride Month a public declaration, you support us in changing that. Through the positive power of inclusive leadership, this governing body shows all families and residents of Camarillo, especially those within the LGBTQ plus community, that they are welcome and important. In the future, we will continue to count on your support as we create a more safe, accepting, and welcoming spaces for the LGBTQ plus community within Camarillo. Due to the overwhelmingly positive response by the Camarillo community, we are launching the Love Always Wins in Camarillo, or LawWick Foundation. At its core, this foundation's mission is to provide more opportunities for the LGBTQ+ community to gather and grow in safety, acceptance, and love. We will continue to honor Pride Month in the years to come by hosting Camarillo Pride, and the nonprofit LawWick Foundation will look to do even more. We are excited for the future and overwhelmed with gratitude for the support of this council and its leaders. Thank you. Please know that today, you not only support our endeavors, but our own families and many others within Camarillo, and we are so grateful. Thank you.
Please, thank you. Please don't go yet. I think we may have comments from council members. Any council members wish to comment? Add further? Vice Mayor Kildee?
Yeah. Thank you for being there, and Bob Kildee Park. And I think so.
Slight.
Again, thank you for being here tonight.
Councilmember Santangelo?
I'm so glad you're here tonight. I'm so glad this is the second year that we've given you the certificate, third year for Pride. I had to get that straight. I had to think about it.
Thank you, because I made a mistake on that before.
This is what it's all about. And now I'm going to get teared up. But this is what it's all about citizens in our community, residents, people that live here, taking it upon themselves to say, I can do something here, and I can start something in this city, and I can see where there's a space for something. And that's what you two did. And it's nothing short of miraculous, really, to put something together like this and have it to continue to grow and keep going. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our town. We needed it, and we look forward to you continuing it.
Councilmember Martinez-Bravo?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of, maybe it was last week or so, in the news, there was a great article about the Kids Dream Children's Museum receiving funding, and it's going to be moving forward. And I served on that board, and I was invited by Christy Ackle, who had a vision for this city, who had a vision for the children of this county. And it all started with this mother, an educator, who wanted to provide this great asset and opportunity for our community. And in the same manner, you decided to dedicate yourselves to start with a vision, to start with a place that is filled with love, to provide this opportunity to be present and to be visible. And the fact that you are able to do this, I truly believe that it provides a protective factor for many of our youth, for them to feel that they are in a city where they are welcomed and loved. You are my friends, you are my neighbors, and you are loved. Thank you.
So, thank you again very much. And I think I have and feel free to sit down. Right. There you want to sit down. That's, you're all right. You're off your feet. We do have.
Mayor, if anybody who's here to support us in Camarillo Pride could stand. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you. And I believe we do have a, because we operate under the Brown Act and we allow for public comments on all agenda items, I believe I have a blue card for a speaker who wished to speak to this item. Amber Thompson, if you're here, please come forward to the microphone. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amber Thompson. I'm the Director of Advocacy for PFLAG Ventura. At PFLAG, we work with our local communities to educate and empower our allies in an effort to build bridges from the LGBTQ+ community to all of our neighbors. I came here tonight to thank you, the Camarillo City Council, for providing this Pride Proclamation to the Diversity Collective and to Camarillo Pride, acknowledging June as Pride Month and giving Pride the visibility it needs in this city. I have a daughter in the LGBTQ+ community that goes to Camarillo High School, and she couldn't bring herself to go to Camarillo Pride this year because of the stigma around being transgender and living in what could be seen as sometimes a less inclusive city. This power of visibility matters, and what you see as a child helps to mold your future. And that's why I took her to the ceremony held by the city of Ventura, where they celebrated the raising of the pride flag on the steps of City Hall. And on the way home, she wondered why her community here in Camarillo doesn't want to send that same message to her and her friends. And I know this feeling all too well. You see, growing up, I was not fortunate enough to see any outwardly visible signs that transgender people were welcome in our society. And because I could never see that, I never imagined that I could be that. And I wasted so many years in our community not truly living up to who I had the potential to be for my neighbors, for my family, and for my employer. But by creating visibility around Pride and affirming the values that the Pride flag stands for, it gives you the power to build a better Camarillo. Because when the children of Camarillo grow up, they ultimately have to leave this community to go off to any form of higher education. And in thinking about the future prosperity of our cities in this county, we want our young folks to remember moments like this tonight in Camarillo and make a conscious decision to come back, raise their families here, and contribute to the beauty that is this city. With an average median age of the residents here being significantly above both the state and national average for a city of its size, Camarillo is an aging city that needs a future generation that chooses to come home. And so much of that decision in the future rests on the actions of the leaders today. We see the stains of intolerance paint history books with the names of cowards and bigots that cave to the desires of strongmen that use culture wars to divide us. I commend this council for their unwavering support of all residents of Camarillo and your use of the power of visibility to help shape the perceptions of the citizens that will choose to raise their families in this community for generations to come. And with that, I also challenge you to do more. I ask you to think about the additional signals of visibility that you can send into the community and to be a council that chooses to lead with love for the future of Camarillo. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a fourth presentation tonight as well. So again, we're delighted that everybody is here. And I'm just going to open this with a brief introduction regarding Food Share that we all know and treasure. Food Share of Ventura County is a nonprofit. It was founded in 1978. It's been feeding the hungry in our community in Ventura County for decades. It started as a very small philanthropic movement. It's grown to distribute over, and these statistics are staggering, 19 million pounds of food, providing 16 million means annually. Food Share provides food for over 250,000 individuals and is the nation's largest hunger relief network of food banks. We are very grateful to Food Share for what it and all of its board members and staff and volunteers do for our community. So I want to introduce Monica White, who's the Chief Executive Officer, to present on behalf of Food Share. I've got a certificate for you. Monica, why don't you come forward and we'll do that. And I think you've got a short PowerPoint that you want to do as well. And I think Jennifer Caldwell, who's also the Chief Development Officer, come on up really quickly so I can hand you a certificate at the same time. Again, we did pictures beforehand, but we need to get you the certificate here. And on behalf of the Camarillo City Council, I wanted to present you with this certificate of recognition and say thank you for all of your efforts. And I think what you wanted, if you want to make any comments and then do a PowerPoint, or if you want to do the PowerPoint and then make any comments and then I can open it up. What's your pleasure?
The PowerPoint while I'm talking.
The PowerPoint, then let's go for it. Okay.
Am I here or?
I think you're going to be, Christy, where are we? She's over there. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mayor Tremblay and council members. You covered a lot of my points, so I'll be able to make this quick. So we've already talked about our history of our timeline. We've been in Ventura County since 1978, started in a 2-car garage, have since grown to 3 operations covering the entire county of Ventura County. You can see down there, that's a picture of all of our volunteers back from 1985 when we moved into our current facility, and there is our 6 feet apart COVID picture that we took in 2021. How does Food Share work? If you have not been to Food Share, I encourage you to come take a tour. The Monica Jen tour is unsurpassed. It's awesome. I can explain a lot more about how we work, how the food comes in, how the food goes out. You will be absolutely amazed when you leave. I highly encourage you to do that. So where does all of our food come from? It comes from a variety of sources. We purchase food, we do food drives, we pick up from every single retail store throughout Ventura County. Every day they have food that they no longer can sell because of those Best Buy dates, but it's still good, so we rescue it. We bring it back into our food bank, and we distribute it through a partners in our network. 160 different nonprofits get food from Food Share at no cost. So every day they are the ones who are out distributing food to those in need throughout the county. They are doing it through faith-based organizations such as pantries, shelters, which are closed sites that could be like the Rescue Mission, women's shelters, after-school programs such as the Boys and Girls Club, drive-through distributions. We started this during COVID. 4 years ago, we are still doing a weekly drive-through in College Park. 1,100 cars every single week are coming through. We also have congregate meal sites, which are hot meal sites, and also a senior kit program. How many people are we serving? This is a staggering graph that shows you how much the need has increased. We see this every day of 1 in 4 people are seeking food assistance through Ventura County's food bank. They need food to be able to make ends meet. It is so expensive to be able to live here. The cost of gas, the cost of rent, the cost of electricity, the cost of food, everything has risen. How can they make ends meet? They can go to one of our pantries and get fresh, nutritious food, including produce. This is the one thing I'd love to be able to point out on this, the bottom right. If Food Share, that 19 million pounds, Mayor Tremblay, that you talked about, if we were to go to the store and purchase that at Vaughn's, it would cost $59 million. We work on a $9 million budget, so the majority of that food is donated to us and through all of those sources that I showed in that first graph. We wanted to point out, since we are at the City Council for Camarillo, exactly what does Food Share do within your city. So we distributed nearly 1 million pounds of food. When we put that into meals, 1.2 pounds of food equals one meal. It's over 800,000 meals were provided last year. The retail value of that is about 2.9 million. We served 5,900 individuals. We can count that because we know an unduplicated number. All of our pantries are on the same system, so we're able to know exactly how many people came through our pantries. That equals 8.37% of your city population needed food assistance last year. We rescue food from 12 retail grocery outlets, and we have 15 distribution points where anybody can go and get food, no questions asked. One of the things that we do have is on our app and also on our website, a Find Food Now feature. If anyone is looking for food, they can go onto this on the app or the website, and they can find an open distribution within 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles of them that is open at this moment. This is important because if anyone wants to help somebody to be able to find food, you also can pull up this app or on our website to be able to help them. These are some of our our partner pantries that are located right here in Camarillo. I'm sure some of you know many of these, but these are the people who are feeding those who need food. We could not do what we do without our network of pantry partners. Some of the programs that we do, we talked about this. This is our drive-through distribution, still happening. We also provide for our unhoused, they're called kitchen-free bags. Everything in here does not require a kitchen, doesn't require a refrigerator, a can opener, anything like that. We also provide the utensils and even wet naps in there for our unhoused population. We are serving our farm workers. When our farm workers may not be able to make it to a pantry during the times that they're open, or they can't make it to the drive-through distribution, what we're doing is we're going to the fields and we are actually giving them the boxes of food that they need right there. The one on the right is also showing feminine hygiene products. We provide those as well. Behind groceries, the second thing that everyone is asking for, diapers and feminine care products. So we provide those as well. And we also feed our seniors. So this is our senior kit program, 100% from volunteers who pack these boxes, 3,500 of them per month. This is a government program. They give us the food and a small amount of dollars to help pay for that, but we are feeding them. We are also going to be feeding our future. We're growing. We have secured some land space in Oxnard, and within 3 years, we will be building a new facility so we can feed even more people or provide them even more nourishing food. And that is in 5 minutes. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Ms. White. Any council member comments? I'm going to start with Councilmember Tennyson.
Thank you. Monica, if you could, share your website address and also the app name, so if people want to search for it on Android or Apple or Google or Apple, they can.
Thank you. You must be a marketing background there. So our website is foodshare.com, not .org. It's foodshare.com, and if you want to search for our app on Google or Android, it's Foodshare Ventura County.
And am I to understand that you not only take donations of food sources, but you're very willing to take cash donations to FoodShare to help feed the needy in Ventura County?
There's 3 magic things that we need in order to help FoodShare work. We can use your dollars, we can use your hours, and we can use your food. All 3 of them is what really makes it work. 2,800 volunteers on an annual basis.
And just a local plug for Camarillo. FoodShare is partnered with the Pleasant Valley Recreation and Park District. Every Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., they package all the food that comes from FoodShare, and I believe you get food from USDA. And I've had the opportunity to volunteer there, and I'd challenge all of my fellow council members to take out a Friday, go on the PVRPD website. You have to sign up and be vetted as a volunteer. Last time I did it 3 weeks ago, we served over 300 drive-through participants in Camarillo. So take this opportunity. It's a way to give back locally via FoodShare and PVRPD to help feed those in need in Camarillo. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Somebody go?
Vice Mayor Kildee.
Thank you for being here, and I'm just going to say ditto to what's been said.
Councilmember Santangelo.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's always a pleasure to learn more about what goes on behind the scenes, and we really appreciate the enormity of the tasks that you have at hand and how well you achieve and how many mouths you are feeding. And I just really want to thank you for all your efforts and all your work. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you for your support.
Councilmember Martinez Bravo.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually had the privilege of attending the Monica Jen tour, and I can say absolute powerhouse. It is an amazing location run by amazing women. And how many volunteers do you have compared to how many?
We have 38 staff and 3,800 volunteers on an annual basis.
Like, that number is just absolutely wonderful. There is so much shame in poverty and being poor. And as many of you know, I came from a family that didn't have much, and I went through that food insecurity. And there was so much shame. Like, my father was always like against any type of help. And the fact that you're able to do this in a very welcoming way, where there is no shame and there is this sense of just love in doing what you do and in really outreaching to the community. It is so rewarding. So thank you so much. And I know you say you serve farm workers by going out on the field. Something else that Food Share does is I'm executive director of Friends of Field Workers, and we also have an MOU with the organization. So we go and pick up food items, the food boxes, and we deliver them directly to our farm workers. So thank you for all of the support throughout. Thank you, Monica, and thank you, Jen, and thank you to your entire board and your entire team.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Monica and Jennifer, thank you. Thank you to your board. It's a real team effort, to all your volunteers. And thank you for a very informative presentation, for everything you do. And the rest of it, I'm just going to say ditto. All
Well,
right?
thank you
Thanks
so
again.
much.
All right. Don't everybody get up and leave. Darn, okay. I'm teasing. All right, we have a consent calendar that we need to get to, which are items G through AA respectively. Are there any members of the council who wish to pull any items on the consent calendar? Okay, I want to pull briefly item V, as in Victor, on the stormwater trash compliance construction contract. I think what I will do, let me do it this way. Let me ask for a motion
Move
to approve the
approval.
consent calendar with everything except for item V.
Move approval except for item V as in Victor.
All right, I hear a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll withdraw.
Sorry.
I think Councilmember Ty goes to, okay. Councilmember Santangelo's got that. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Martinez Bravo,
Yes.
Councilmember Santangelo. Yes. Councilmember Tennyson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kilby,
Yes.
and Mayor Tremblay.
Yes. All right. Record will indicate that that item was adopted on a 5-0 vote. With respect to item V, that's the stormwater trash compliance project, and my colleagues will recall that we've already done the first phase of this, but I had a number of questions on this. So just for background purposes, the city owns and maintains about over 1,500 storm drain catch basins, and our stormwater permit requires, from the regional board, requires the city to install full trash capture devices on those existing storm drain catch basins. And so just before the pandemic, we completed the first phase of the project, and we installed trash devices in 129 storm drain catch basins. And the current project includes installation of the remaining 267 full capture trash devices within those catch basins. But I noted a couple of things in the staff report, and I wanted to ask Mr. Klotzel, if you were the right one to ask the questions of, I think, Dave, on this. I mean, I note that there was only one bid received. The bid was in excess, or about $300,000 over the engineer's estimate, which is, from a percentage standpoint, a very significant increase over what the engineer's estimate was. And it's a significant variation given the total project cost. So a couple of questions. Actually, I think I had 4 or 5. Were we surprised there was just one bidder?
Not completely, and because of the high specialized level of work this is, those inserts are essentially custom fabricated for each location. So we know, and even from past history back in 2018, we received 4 bids. So weren't completely surprised that we received very few and only one bid this time. And for a couple reasons, being that highly specialized level of work, as we advertise for bids, interested contractors pull information and show interest in the project. There was a relatively low number of contractors that were showing initial interest, a handful, and even several of those were large prime general contractors that decided not to bid on it, and likely because of the need for the highly specialized type of work. So, you know, while definitely we would have rather have more than one bid, it wasn't a complete surprise.
Well, Thanks for that, Dave. But was the notice, when we did the notice inviting bids, the city did the notice inviting bids, do we follow our normal advertising and marketing advertising process to make sure that prospective bidders knew about
Yes.
the notice?
Yes,
Knew about the opportunity?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes when this happens, you can ask yourself, gee, were the bid specs drawn too narrowly to get, to attract more bids? Did staff have a chance to go back and look at the bid specs that have been drafted by it was an outside engineering group. Were you satisfied with the scope and the breadth of the specs in terms of drawing multiple bidders?
Yes, yeah, again, the specs were very similar to the ones from the first phase in 2018 that again attracted a few more bidders that time. And in developing the bids this time, with some slight updates, as we always do, is provide the specific requirements, but also a measure of latitude that a contractor can apply their means and methods to decide whether or not, and then submit a bid as they feel their best price is. No, we felt the specs were, and also even through the bidding phase, often we'll get, if there are issues with a spec package, we'll get questions and input from contractors that are reading things that might look like things are too narrow, and that was not the case with this.
Okay, I mean, there was a very significant variation here from the engineer's estimate, which is why
Correct.
I was really focused on. Final couple of questions. Are there any timelines in the city's stormwater permit that would preclude the time necessary if the council were to say, hey, we want to rebid this and see if we can get a better, with no guarantees, that we could get a better bid price? Are there any timelines that would impact that decision? In other words, are we up against the clock on permit conditions?
Yes, definitely. The permit does require installation of these devices in a number of, not all of them, but there's the drainage areas in Camarillo split up to a few different areas, and the one that's most sensitive that the water board has identified as most impacted from trash is, we call it the Beardsley Revlon Slough drainage areas, essentially the western part of the city. That's where the majority, about 90 catch basins, are within a deadline of October 1st to have these installed. And so that's why we've been moving forward and getting this project out, and we feel the contract and the contractor has the ability to accomplish that. Our specs are set up for that requirement to be installed, have those installed to meet that deadline. So yeah, if we go through a rebid, where again, not guaranteed any difference in number of bidders or price, we would be, not meeting that permit deadline. What that would do is open it up to the board review of possible, likely additional catch basins in the area added to this requirement. So again, another likely cost increase. So we really are under a deadline.
All right, and I understand that. I can appreciate that. And I mean, from an environmental standpoint and a permitting compliance standpoint, I recognize the importance. It sounds like it may not, it would not be conducive or productive to rebid at this point. So, okay, thanks for answering those questions. I'm satisfied that we should move forward. Anybody want to make a motion with respect to this
I'll make a
item?
motion that we approve item B on consent.
All right, I have a motion. Do I hear a
I'll
second? Second, Councilmember Martinez-Bravo. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Martinez Bravo?
Yes.
Councilmember Santangelo?
Yes.
Councilmember Tennyson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kilby?
Yes.
And Mayor Tremblay?
Yes. All right, that concludes our consent calendar items. We do not have any discussion items this evening. We have no public hearings this evening. We do have time set aside for general public comment at 6 o'clock. We're 4 minutes over, but better late than never. Do we have any members of the public who wish to address the City Council on items that are not on tonight's agenda? And Madam Clerk, looks like we've got a couple. Okay, that's okay. I'll call. Just so, in case anybody is not familiar with our rules, we limit our public comments to 3 minutes. That's the bottom line, and after 3 minutes, I have to ask you to stop. First up is David Mormon.
Thank you, Councilman and ladies. My comments aren't necessarily directed at you. I think you signed off on an extremely bad piece of ordinance legislation in the city. I think it's really bad. But I do want to direct my attention to the city manager and the sheriff's commander. You mean to tell me you gentlemen don't have 5 minutes out of your day to talk to me face to face in your offices over this stupid piece of ordinance? I don't know how much more I can say how dumb this is. It says, if the oversized vehicle is the only vehicle able to accommodate the resident seeking the permit, that's me. I have a disabled plate on my 2012 Honda or a Toyota. I have a disabled placard in my windshield on the rearview mirror. I got a ticket today, interesting. I owe $35. If you're that hard up for it, I'll give you the money.
Mr. Mormon, sorry to interrupt you. Make sure, I would appreciate, address your comments to the council, if you would, please, sir.
Well,
sorry to interrupt
is this council gonna have this city manager and that sheriff's commander speak with me one-on-one about this? Because this needs to be corrected. Because it's real simple. My RV is the only vehicle that can accommodate me. All right? Do you want me to sell my RV to somebody else so I can go live in my Toyota Camry? Is that what you want me to do? Because that's the way this is basically what it's saying is I cannot have another vehicle. And the sheriff's sergeant that I talked to today, I said something to him and he was speechless. He couldn't say anything. All he could do was defend what's on paper. That's it. But what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I live in an RV. I've lived in my RV in this city for 6+ years. I pay taxes when I go grocery shopping. When I buy gas, I pay the same road fees through my registration as you people do on your vehicles. So what do you want me to do?
Thank you, Mr. Mormon, for your comments. I'm hopeful that you will have a chance after the meeting tonight to be able to chat with city staff about it. Okay?
Well, I don't know how long your meeting is going to go.
It's not going to go that long.
Yeah, because I go to bed about 8, 9 o'clock at night.
We're definitely not going to be here past 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
In fact, it's going to be a very short period of time.
Yeah.
We're going to after these comments, actually, we're going to go back into closed session.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your comment.
Just to let you know
And
that.
I hope you have the chance to have a discussion with city staff.
Just so you know, progressive multiple sclerosis is not a fun deal.
Thank you, Mr. Mormon. I have a second public comment card for a Kevin Daly. Mr. Daly may no longer be here. All right, and if so, I apologize. I think that may have been with respect to an earlier item, and I didn't have a chance to see the card. All right. Are there any other members of the public who wish to address the City Council on non-agenda items? All right, hearing none, that will conclude that part of the calendar. Madam City Attorney, we're going to go ahead and recess here and reconvene into closed session. Are there any announcements that you wish to make at this time?
I'll just indicate that the council did go into closed session and they did discuss item A, the OPV coalition matter. There's no reportable action, so it's the remaining items that are listed on the agenda that the council will be adjourning into.
All right, and the record will reflect then that the council is going to go ahead and recess into closed session pursuant to the comments from the city attorney. We are in recess in closed session.